Hello everyone, I'm Michael from Blue Road Home Studio. If this is your first time to the channel, a very big welcome to you. Today we're going to talk about the classic quantize mode and the smart quantize mode. What's the difference between the two? Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you why smart quantize can be quite helpful. So without further ado, let's get into the land of zeros and ones. Logic has two quantize modes. If you go to the little arrows here next to quantize and you click on it, you will see that there's a classic quantize and a smart quantize. Classic quantize is probably the one that you use the most. It's actually the default. And to explain the difference, let me just go ahead and I'm going to record a quick piano piece here. Okay, if I double click on the MIDI file here, we open up the piano roll, and you will see here that I staggered the notes of the chord a little bit. This is a technique where piano players kind of roll the chords. It's an arpeggiation technique. If you were to notate this for a piano player, this is exactly how it would look. So next to the chords, you see this little wavy line. It's just telling the piano player, hey, don't play all the notes together, just kind of roll the chord a little bit. If we go and quantize this, and we do it in the classic quantize mode, you know what's going to happen. If I go to quarter notes, you will see that everything gets quantized to the beat. Now, that's fine. I'm just going to undo this. But what if I want to keep that performance? What if I want to keep those rolled piano notes in the performance, because that's how I want it to sound, but I still want to quantize it? Well, that's where Smart Quantize comes in. So if I switch this to Smart Quantize, and then I hit quarter note, watch what happens to the notes. Everything kind of moves, but it kind of keeps the integrity of those rolled chords, okay? Now I'm going to play this, and I want to show you one thing. Hear how that first chord doesn't sound right? That sounds fine. Well, when I recorded this, I came in a little slightly early on the beat, and you'll see that I do that kind of throughout here. But with Smart Quantize, it's not going to catch that. So at the beginning of the file, you're going to have to correct the notes. Okay? Just like that. Now, I actually could have given myself lead time from the intro here. Okay, just by clicking that, I could have given myself like some pre-bars. I didn't do that, so I had to fix it there. Okay, so now if we play this back, you'll hear the way it's kind of supposed to sound, but it has a little bit of quantize to it. So that's really what Smart Quantize does. It basically makes it so that you have a human feel. So it's more of a human feel, in other words. It's not a rigid quantize, okay? And even in classic, you can do swing quantize, but let's say you don't want it overly quantized. Use Smart Quantize, because then you kind of keep this human feel to your playing. Now, from the piano roll, you can also quantize the notes in here using Smart Quantize. As long as Smart Quantize is selected up here, you will see that it is smart. Now, notice this strength slider right here. You can mess around with this, and you can kind of loosen it as much as you want. When you're working in the piano roll, it works a little differently. You can't just have the track selected and then quantize it. Nothing's going to happen, okay? You have to actually select all the notes. So the best way to do that is click the note that's closest to the beginning, and then you're going to hit Shift F, okay? And that selects everything. Otherwise, you have to go and like that. You have to select everything yourself. So this is an easy way to do it. Think of Shift F like forward. So Shift F, and I'm selecting all the following. You can also hit Command A and select everything, but I'm just used to hitting Shift F, which selects all following. It's really up to you. So now that I have everything selected, if I didn't quantize this before, I would just hit this Q, okay? And if I do it again, you're double quantizing. So you see, I just double quantize it there. So I'm going to undo that. This is already quantized, but now you can mess with this further. You can take the strength down, and you can see I can go to like 15%. So there, it's barely quantizing. So, and then we can play it, and I have even more of my performance left. One note, you can also adjust the strength slider and the swing slider in classic quantize mode. I'll bring this up. So it probably sounds a little better with maybe like 44%. And again, you have to kind of fix that first note there, first two notes, because in Smart Quantize, it doesn't chop off the notes or fix them at the very front. There we go. Now, it's actually nice to control the quantize in the piano roll because you can actually select which notes you want. So let's say this was a drum beat of some kind, and the top row here was hi-hats. I could select all of these, okay? And then I could only affect those notes that I choose to quantize. So again, in drum parts, this could come in very handy for separation. Now, in this case too, I probably wouldn't have even quantized this. I would just play it out. But this is just to show you that you can use Smart Quantize and you can control it to a degree where you really can have a very human feel, even if you still want to quantize your playing. And there you have it, everyone. If you need to quantize, you have some great options. As always, if you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comments below. I will get back to them as soon as I can. If you did find this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Please give it a like. You can always ring that bell for future notifications of whenever I release new videos. Until then, check out a couple of these other videos. Maybe you'll find some helpful tips there. And as always, keep being creative and keep producing music.